This here is Devory Darkins. So this is what I would call a sane conservative. He's a right winger, but I wouldn't say he's like a far right winger. I'm not exactly sure when people make this much sense and they're conservative exactly what to call them. But so anyways, if you followed him, like I said, follow this guy. Like I said, follow Sabby Sabs, right? Sabby is a great left wing pundit, giving you news, breaking things down, and this guy is a sane conservative, breaking things down from a right wing perspective, and he does a really good job. And so this says Joy Reid takes aim at Trump supporters, but he goes into a lot more. I'm gonna kind of just let him go for a little bit. I've watched this already. I'll come in at the end a little bit. I might come in a little bit, but I'm just gonna kind of let him go.
In this video today, Joy Reid has a special message for Trump supporters.
Make your own dinner, MAGA. Make your own sandwiches. Wipe your own tears.
The Democratic mayor of Tucson is fighting back against Trump's mass deportation plans.
I believe they are cruel and immoral.
And Mark Zuckerberg is now going full MAGA. He met with Trump at Mar-a-Lago today.
He wants to support the national renewal of America under President Trump's leadership.
Well, when it comes to what Joy Reid is eating for Thanksgiving, let's just say gratitude is not on the menu because she had a special message to Trump supporters. Watch.
These are the people who say the undocumented, who they get to call illegal immigrants, like the Pilgrims had permission to come here, have to suffer the consequences of their actions, right? They made the choice to overstay their visas or come into our country illegally. So if they get deported, consequences. But you right-wingers shouldn't have to suffer the consequences of your votes? You don't want to be around me because I voted for fascism. No fair. I'm coughing on you with COVID, but you want me to wear a mask for your safety? No fair. My body, my choice. Well, here's an alternative.
It's hard not for me not to jump in, but again, talking about voted for fascism. If you voted for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, you voted for fascism. The Jones Plantation, they give you who they want you to have. Even somebody that was already kind of in the system, like Bernie Sanders, couldn't beat out Hillary Clinton, right? Like he beat her out, but then they just put her in, and then they just put in Kamala Harris this time. Fascism is when just a small group of people run the thing. Normally people talk about it as a dictator, one person. It's never one person. One person never runs all of anything, even if it was a Hitler or Mao. There's a small group of people that are doing stuff. But when you only have the choice of the Democrat and Republican Party and they tell you who they're going to put up and they're all cool with it, then that is fascism.
Thought. Make your own dinner, MAGA. Make your own sandwiches. Wipe your own tears.
Who doesn't make
Troll
their
amongst
own dinner and
yourselves with
sandwiches?
Elon and leave us alone. You got your heart's desire, the president you dreamed of and
Yeah, I
worship
kinda
instead of
wish Elon would
Jesus.
leave us alone.
And this time, you didn't even have to storm the Capitol, smash the windows, or try to kill police officers or issue death threats to poll workers. See? You did it just by voting this time. Congrats. You got your way. And he even got away with breaking the law. Yay.
Okay, so I guess Joy Reid just could not.
But what rich person doesn't get away with breaking the law? That's what rich people do. They get off for everything. That's what money is. You can buy anything in capitalism. You buy your freedom, you buy your politician, you buy your laws. Ooh, he broke the law. Which law did he break? And then talking about Trump is going to use his political power against his enemies. Isn't that what Joe Biden and the Democrats were doing to him, using their political power against their political enemies, or whatever you want to call it?
Not resist using Thanksgiving as a time to take a swipe at Trump voters, or particularly MAGA is really who she's speaking to, with insults and her condescending attitude. It's so interesting how your first name could be Joy, but you're totally filled with hate. How does that happen, right? And here's the other thing. Even though Thanksgiving is supposed to be a time of unity, gratitude, and bringing the family together, she's operating with the opposite mindset, of course. But there's more. Watch.
But if you expect the 73 million who voted for the prosecutor, not the felon, and particularly the 92% of black women who voted for Kamala to give you a cookie for your vote, a trophy, a hug, a high five, you might be asking too much. If we want to eat with you, we will. But if we just want some peace over the holidays and we don't want to put up with your trolling while we eat our tofurkey, get over it. Stop acting like we owe you. And for God's sakes, stop whining. It's embarrassing. Our Thanksgiving.
Oh my gosh, she's talking about something being embarrassing.
Okay,
and
so she
whining.
left off with a statement, our Thanksgiving, our choice. Doesn't that sound familiar? Like my body, my choice, right? Thanksgiving, autonomy. Any of you people have someone like that in your family out there. Don't waste your energy trying to judge them, trying to convince them. That's between them and God. You stay true to
Just give them a hug.
the
Tell them to go
positive
to
values
Savvy
that
Sabs or Devory
represents why
Darkins
this
or both
country
of
is so
them,
great.
and
Don't allow
across
people
the
like
spectrum,
her
tell them
to
to get
drag you
educated.
down, okay? Now, what I find funny is she's so focused on division, but Trump is already focused on delivering real results, and he hasn't even taken office because the Mexico president.
But so actually, again, I mean, to be more serious now, look, like if you have somebody like that in your family, some hardcore liberal or centrist that just doesn't really understand politics and is all upset because Trump won or was all upset about Kamala Harris, this and that, talk to them calmly, right? And just tell them a little bit, but then show them somebody like Savvy Sabs, show them somebody like Devory Darkins, and show them somebody like me. You know, like let them be talked to and educated in a, I don't like a, in a, not a soft way, but like a what do you call, a respectful way, right? Like, this is a real respectful conservative telling you his thoughts and his views, but he's real respectful about it. Savvy the same. And I might try to be snarky a little bit here and there, but I try to be respectful, but I try to, show knowledge. But still, like, there are ways to educate people to get the knowledge that they don't know that can help them maybe shift their views or whatever. And I see this is only at 3:26, so I'm going to kind of let it ride. I said I was going to let it ride, and I didn't. I'm just talking, so I'm going to try to let him go a little bit longer, and then I'll get in at the end.
The president just came out and agreed to stop all migrant caravans from reaching the southern border. So Trump just posted this on Truth Social, just had a wonderful conversation with the new president of Mexico, Claudia Pardo. She has agreed to stop migration through Mexico and into the United States, effectively closing our southern border. We also talked about what can be done to stop the massive drug inflow into the United States and also U.S. consumption of these drugs. It was a very productive conversation. And then he followed up by saying Mexico will stop people from going to our southern border effective immediately. This will go a long way towards stopping the illegal invasion of the USA. Thank you. Okay, so what does this really tell us? Well, it's telling us that Mexico's swift response to Trump's tariff threats shows the power of America First policies and strong leadership. I told you, when Trump speaks, people respond. Now, clearly, this backs up the promises that he made during his campaign.
People do,
and it's obviously a clear signal to the world that America will no longer tolerate being taken advantage of. With Trump back in charge, the border is finally becoming secure again. Now, since we're on this topic of immigration and border security, yes, there are still mayors and governors coming out and being defiant and saying they're not going to comply with mass deportation. Well, Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, had some nice words for the Tucson, Arizona mayor. Watch this.
Tom, here's how the mayor of Tucson responded to Trump's border plans. Watch.
I am deeply troubled by President-elect Trump's plans for mass deportation. I believe they are cruel and immoral. I will work with our police chief to make sure that our focus remains on protecting and serving Tucsonans. I am unwavering in my commitment to this fight.
Okay, so you heard what she had to say, and here's how I see it, right? So Democrats who, like her, who claim to stand for safety and inclusion, but their policies often put migrants and American citizens at risk. Tell me how that makes sense, right? Because her compassion is ahead of the rule of law. So you would rather feel sorry for these illegal migrants than to make sure that families and American citizens are safe. Now, here's what Tom Homan had to say.
Well, first of all, what's cruel about it? We have a massive illegal immigration flow on the border, historic flows that overwhelm the Border Patrol. Sex trafficking up 600%. 250,000 dead Americans from fentanyl. We got a record number of known suspected terrorists and people on the terrorist watch list crossing the border. We got children dying on the border every day. We got women being sexually assaulted by the cartels every day. Someone's going to die on the border tonight. Women are being raped on the border tonight. So what's cruel about securing that border and saving lives, first of all? But I'll give her the same warning I'm giving the rest of the sanctuary city mayors and the governors. You can not help us. That's fine. You should get the hell out of the way then, because we're going to do the job. President Trump has said public safety threats and national security threats will be the priority right out of the gate. And I can't believe there's any elected official that doesn't want public safety threats out of their communities. Their number one responsibility is protecting the communities. So if they're not going to do it, we'll do it for them.
Guys, this is common sense, all right? By refusing to cooperate with federal authorities, all they're really doing is choosing politics over public safety. That's all it really is. And like I stated earlier, it's just going to backfire on them. But why are we showing you guys this? Because we are going to tell the truth every step of the way. We learned last time that the media had a monopoly on the truth. They told you what they wanted you to hear.
They don't have a
now,
monopoly
this
on the
next
truth,
story is
but
very
a
encouraging
monopoly
because this is
on
what
what you
happens
have
when you put
access to
common
hear.
sense over politics.
But not with YouTube anymore.
Yeah, the Washington Commanders, who also used to be known as the Washington Redskins, are thinking about going back to the name and bringing back the logo.
We were calling out leaders on a case of really woke gone wrong. The irony that they were canceling Native American culture as the DEI movement went way too far. Look, this is honoring a Blackfeet chief who was.
So they want us on logos, but they don't want us to be hired or fly planes.
Born in Montana, he's highly esteemed. The Blackfeet tribe of Montana, their current chairman and the tribal council signed a letter in strong support to bring the logo back. It honors Indian country. So we've had good discussions with the NFL and with the Commanders. There's good faith negotiations going forward that's going to allow this logo to be used again. Perhaps revenues going to a foundation that could help Native Americans in sports and so forth. We're making good progress, and based on the good faith negotiations, I made the decision to support this bill yesterday in the committee.
I know that they put a plaque up in Northwest Stadium honoring Wetzel and the logo. It'd be great to see it back on the.
Heard on another podcast where someone said that America is auto-correcting itself, right? When we get to extreme, we pull ourselves back in such a epic way. Now, one of the examples of the shift that has taken place in America is this reporting coming out that Mark Zuckerberg has met with Trump at Mar-a-Lago today. Here is Stephen Miller discussing it.
Mark Zuckerberg has been very clear about his desire to be a supporter of and a participant in this change that we're seeing all around America, all around the world.
I don't know if you've seen the clip with Stavros and Theo Von, but Stavros was talking about how the elite always want the right winger to win, but no matter who wins, they're going to work with whoever's in office, right? Because they have the money and they're going to, again, that line for the 30% of us that we get, and then they get their line that's closer to the ideal line.
World with this reform movement that Donald Trump is leading. Mark Zuckerberg, like so many business leaders, understand that President Trump is an agent of change, an agent of prosperity. And so business leaders, CEOs, everywhere, they want to be an element, a supporter, a booster of making our economy prosperous, delivering for American workers, and making sure that America is the most powerful, wealthiest, freest nation on the face of the earth. So we'll see what comes of that. And Mark, obviously, he has his own interests, and he has his own company, and he has his own agenda, but he's made clear that he wants to support the national renewal of America under President Trump's leadership.
Now remember, President Trump is supposed to be the guy they called Hitler, fascist. Someone who is going to destroy the U.S. Constitution, right? A threat to our democracy, unhinged. Then why are all these people voting?
If you know the definition of fascism, then our U.S. Constitution was written by fascists. A few people controlling the power. Every plantation had a baby dictator at the top, right? It's just insane to me, but yes, Trump is a fascist, as Kamala Harris is a fascist. The Democrats and Republicans are both fascists. I'll try to make more videos, but it's hard to do all the thoughts that I have. But anyway, let's go.
Voting for him. Why has the country shifted to the right? And why are people like Mark Zuckerberg meeting with him? Right. I think that probably tells the
are
full
rich people
story of
meeting with the
why
president? It wouldn't matter who
MSDNC
the president
and these
was.
legacy
Rich people
media
meet with them.
and these left-wing influencers, why they're all in trouble right now.
The DNC
Because
is
they
not
pretty
left.
much had to lie to their audience
Liberals
in order
are
to
not
get the
left.
clicks, the views, and the money. But because that lie did not become a reality, they're SOL. Now it's time to hear your opinion in the comment section below. What do you guys think about what?
Okay, so you heard my opinion kind of in real time as we went through the video. But I like Devory Darkins. He brings a lot of good information from a right-wing perspective in a respectful way, and he's the type of person you should listen to. Go subscribe to his channel, and that way the next time Donald Trump happens, you won't be so surprised if he wins or not, but you'll just be informed on why people like Donald Trump, and then maybe you'll be able to combat what Donald Trump is saying with better policies. So it's Kamala never came out with any real policies. So she was looking at this Devory Darkins guy, or there's another guy that I'm gonna go over called Black Conservative Perspective. I'm gonna do a video about him in the next one or the next couple few. If people are watching these guys and Sabby Sabs is talking about Trump and she knows what's up, and they would have, hopefully they'd be able to have counteracting policies. But since they're watching Joy Reid and MSNBC and NBC and CNN and they don't know what's happening, then they don't know what's happening. So it's all a surprise. But anyway, the more you watch this, the less you'll be surprised. So until next time.